that, I'm working with Ann on getting our apprenticeship program registered with the state. And one of the things I mentioned to our group is that Ann is really a resource that is guiding us to get it right. So it seems like a very daunting task, but what's happening is Ann is taking us through this and she's reviewing it and kicking back to say, well, did you really want this? Because if you do this, you're going to need to document everything. Or if you're going to choose this option, think about these factors so that when we're doing this, it's one, not as scary and as big as it seems when you first look at the documentation, and two, to make sure that when it is sent to the state, that it's registered. So, I don't know if she quite articulated how helpful she really is in this.
So we'll echo, you're not by yourself. Coach Ann will walk you through the process. All right. Anybody else? Any other good conversation at your table? All right.
What type of apprenticeship are you focusing on at this time?
Electrical.
Yes. Oh, I'll just talk about our notes. So we were feeling like apprenticeship, amazing. Always, thinking about it, but also internship too. So think of internship more for those fields, those employers that don't necessarily have the funding up front to pay the apprenticeship, right? But the experience would really help them in the long term. So think of college student, they need to build that resume, but they need the networking. It's all about who you know. So connections, and then apprenticeship, if you have the funding, start small, then that may be a better opportunity. And then of course building the connections. So both a win-win, industry.
And I'll chat on that for my other role. I work with research. So internship pieces you might be able to tie to the academic side in the classroom. So maybe like a research conversation, or maybe it's just for that time in the course. So there might be some creative things you can do just depending on who your partner is. So make sure you're having those questions. We got somebody else?
Yes. I'm standing up like I'm getting ready to sing.
Okay.
So apprenticeships as well as internships are absolutely amazing. I know at Florida Technical College, we have our graduates go out in the last class is their externship, where they're able to go out to site and perform hands-on. They're able to see and experience what it feels like working within an office. So an internship would work. I believe. Usually our externs that go out on their site, majority of them are hired within that office. So it would allow the employer to be able to have that individual work, show what they can do. I think you said try before you buy. And then and in turn, like the externship, they now have that experience working. And if they're not hired at their site, it can go on their resume. Some employees prefer externship because they don't have to pay. But apprenticeship is also absolutely awesome because they receive a certificate as well too. So I think both is absolutely amazing.
It's a 4-month working intern.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
So just to dovetail on the try before you buy thought, one of the biggest challenges in small business is finding out if an employee fits your company culture. The skill set you can find in people, but finding a good fit with the rest of your team. And if you're in a small business, if you have 10 employees and one person's a cancer in your organization, that's 10% of your workforce. And that will create problems like you cannot imagine. So this is an opportunity for you to not only find out, do they have the skills to do the job, but also how do they fit with the rest of your team, and are they a good fit? And it's a huge retention benefit.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for that testimonial. We got one over here, and then I think time for my sister in the back.
Hi, my name is Bob Rand. We have a paid intern at our office, and it's our first paid intern, first experience with an intern. It's been a really good experience. We've learned a lot, but I think there's a disconnect between, and maybe I'm just not aware of the resources that are available, but a disconnect between the educational institutions in the area and the business community, in that I don't know that there's a formal intern program that is available through the universities and the colleges, because I just kind of stumbled onto an intern through, my wife does some work at the college, and I just kind of, she knew the person to call. I think if there is a program, it isn't advertised well to the business community, so I think that is an opportunity.
I think for your honesty, hopefully that's something, maybe that's a future conversation that can be communicated through Career Source. Because I know DSC's doing some great work, but Embry-Riddle, I think we push a lot of our students out instead of keeping them in our community. So that may be some future planning we need to talk about.
Working on that.
I was just gonna say that when you asked who had an internship, I totally forgot that I had an internship as a youngling in college. And it was in the same industry that I had ended up in. I totally forgot about it, right? But then the question that I was gonna ask is, Flagler County, who can help us in Flagler, or will you be willing to help us with starting something formal with an apprenticeship program in Flagler?
Yes, ma'am. And
All right.
Mr. William Halper is the apprenticeship training representative for your area. He has been with the department for 40 years.
Awesome.
Amazing and wonderful. I'm going to get your information and I'm going to share with him.
See that firsthand. Braun is interested in a possible apprenticeship, but didn't know really how to convince management. So I think that us helping make that connection today was imperative. Advent Health has paid internships, so that's wonderful. A lot of things because of the healthcare industry and the HIPAA regulations. I think that it's hard to take that next step into apprenticeships. And finding that, how do you form that group? How do you find that core person that can help drive within the organization? Does it need to be someone that is their full-time role? So that was one of the things we talked about. And that is extremely important to see if that individual is a good fit for your organization. So I only recently did find out that Embry-Riddle has some, I have a connection to someone at Embry-Riddle that can help with internships if you'd like that referral. So don't hesitate to reach out to Career Source. Make it a great day.
Thank you so much.